some of those hadith. Some people weaken some of those hadith.
Right.
Then there's other subsidiary things that you'll find in other books that you might not find in the main books that actually abrogate those things that are in those main books as well.
Right.
So hadith is something that takes Muslims pretty much their whole life to index.
Right. But you know the actual guys who collected them.
Yeah.
So would you say that the work they've done is like a genuine work then?
How do you mean?
Well, you know, so basically what you're reading is as close to the truth as they
what we're reading is the hadiths that they had the ability to collect, and how they authenticated it, based on contemporary reports on whether people are trustworthy, unknown, and what have you.
Right.
So we believe they are sincere and they've done they've done the best of their ability by highlighting this person is trustworthy, this person is good with memory, this person is not good with his memory, this person is not truthful, this person is a liar, such and such boycotted is. You have all of these in what we call books of Jarh wa Ta'deel, books of praise and disparagement of the narrators.
Yeah.
So it's not like I say, it's not the way people approach the hadith is a bit lackadaisical. It's not that simple. It is a course of study. I'm not saying you couldn't grasp the main concepts within your lifetime. What I'm saying is this is things that people study university for like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
You know, like PhD, doctorate type stuff.
So what do you think about you know I presume you've read bits of Ibn Kathir?
Ibn Kathir is main tafsir.
Yeah. Because you notice when you read him, he actually has quotes from the hadith, and you can actually find some of the quotes he makes and actually see and read them and see the way that he interprets what he's put down. And it seems to me that when he interprets a hadith, he just reads them and gives you his understanding straight up, rather than saying that.
That is what he does.
And he even says it's sahih as well. Sometimes he will say it's sahih hadith.
Because Ibn Kathir is not going to use hadith which he thinks are not authentic. So anything that Ibn Kathir says, he's a mufassir, what they call an explainer of the Quran. So he's going to use that. But I believe there's a specific incident that you probably read up upon that you want to ask me about.
Right. Well, it's actually multiple incidents.
Okay, fine. Let's go through them.
All right. Because what I did is the way I found these hadiths is I didn't go. But what I actually found is when I go to websites, they give you the ones, but it seems to me that a lot of these people are a bit emotional, and you can tell that they don't actually like obviously Muhammad. But what I prefer to do is actually just read the hadith myself. So it took me quite a few hours to to go through them. And so what I actually done is I took the text from them, put them on like a website I've got. So like this one is was it Sahih al-Bukhari, book 56, number 250. It says, narrated Anas bin Malik, Allah's messenger entered Mecca in the year of the conquest of Mecca, wearing a helmet over his head. After he took it off, a man came and said, Ibn Katal is clinging to the curtains of the Kaaba. And the Prophet said, kill him.
Ibn who? Ibn who?
Ibn Katal.
I'm not too sure who he is.
Because you know, I don't know if you know about that. You know the fact.
I don't know his name. Sorry.
Because I don't know if you read the one where it gives a statement about where Muhammad says that even if someone, actually I think he's saying. Alright, I know in one of the hadiths it actually says that Muhammad actually said that even if they're clinging to the curtains of the Kaaba, that certain people should be killed. So this next one, this is a Mecca one as well. This is Sunan Abu Dawood, book 14, number 2677. It says, narrated Sa'd, on the day when Mecca was conquered, the Apostle of Allah gave protection to the people, except 4 men and 2 women, and he named them. Ibn Abu Sa'd was one of them. He then narrated the tradition. He said, Ibn Abu Sa'd hid himself Uthman ibn Affan, when the Apostle of Allah called the people to take the oath of allegiance, he brought him and made him stand before the Apostle of Allah. He said, Apostle of Allah received the oath of allegiance from him. He raised his head and looked at him thrice, denying him every time. After the third time, he received his oath. He then turned to his companions and said, is there not any intelligent man among you who would stand to this man when he saw me desisting from receiving the oath of allegiance and kill him? They replied, we do not know, Apostle of Allah, what lies in your heart. Did you not give us a hint with your eye? He said, it is not proper for a prophet to have a treacherous eye. So you notice this Ibn... So do you believe that the people that Muhammad had killed, would you believe that they're dangerous people?
I believe that they would have committed crimes which were deserving of death.
Right.
I don't believe he would have, if in a day where he comes, and I believe they would have been heinous crimes as well.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that if you read that hadith, the Prophet on the conquest of Mecca left people. These are people that have fought, killed people, but except 4 men and 2 women according to that hadith.
Yeah, 4 men and 2 women.
Yeah, that to me would indicate that there was a heinous crime that they committed, right? And that was the reason why the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him had those men killed.
Right.
And the men killed.
Right.
But I don't, without knowing the stories of these people, they're just names.
Right. What do you think about Ibn Ishaq?
Ibn Ishaq is a seer of the Prophet, which has got lots of weak narrations. It's not something that you could read and take it off at the back and just read it.
Right. But what would you say about in that Ibn Ishaq, where it actually gives more details about what happened on the conquest of Mecca?
Yeah, I would say that we need to verify those reports and the veracity of them. Ibn Ishaq is riddled, full of weak, unauthentic narrations.
Right. I don't know if do you want to...
Yeah, let's go through.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so all right. Just trying to work out where to start. Just came through. Alright, I'll start here then. This is Ibn Ishaq. It's looks like it's page 549. It says, Abdullah b Abu Naj and Abdullah b Abu Bakr told me that Safwan b Umay and Ikrim b Abu Jahl and Suhail b Amar had collected some men in Al-Kandama to fight. Himas b Quaib Khalid, brother of B. Bakr, was sharpening his sword before the apostle entered Mecca, and his wife asked him why he was doing so. When he told her it was for Muhammad and Muhammad and his companions, she said that she did not think that it would do them any harm. He answered that he hoped to give her one of them as a slave and said, I have no excuse if today they advance. Here is my weapon, a long-bladed lance, a two-edged sword in their faces will advance. Well, I think this is just some guy who wants to kill them. Yeah. Alright, so he said, then he went to Al-Qamada with Safwan, Sule and Ikram, and when the Muslims under Khalid arrived, a skirmish followed in which Oh, right, okay. It's because I'm reading it. You have to read it across.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I was wondering why I couldn't get where the. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is what I was after. Yeah, this is it. So the apostle had instructed his commanders when they entered Mecca only to fight those who resisted them, except a small number who were to be killed, even if they were found beneath the curtains of the Kaaba. So that's what happened to that guy. Among them was Abdullah B. Saad, brother of the B. Amir B. Luay. The reason he ordered him to be killed was that he had been a Muslim and used to write down Revelation. Then he apostatized and returned to Quraysh and fled to Uthman bin Affan, whose foster brother he was. The latter hid him until he brought him to the apostle after the situation in Mecca was tranquil and asked that he might be granted immunity. They alleged that the apostle remained silent for a long time till he finally said yes. When Uthman had left, he said to his companions who were sitting around him, "I kept silent so that one of you might get up and strike off his head." One of the Ansar said, "Then why did you give us me a sign, O Apostle of God?" He answered that a prophet does not kill by pointing. So this actually gives you the one I read before, the Sunan Abu Dawud. So this actually tells you that he was a Muslim. He used to write down Revelation, then he apostatized and returned to the Quraysh.
I wonder how authentic that is, though. I wonder how authentic that is, if that is actually the case.
But so would you think that he did something different apart from what he said here?
Yeah,
even though the rest matches up.
It doesn't sound like because he apostated. Many people apostated.
Yeah.
So just to single someone out for that seems a bit odd.
Yeah, but remember he said he used to write Revelation, so I can see why he would be upset.
Yeah, there are other people that wrote Revelation that apostated as well. The Prophet peace be upon him never ordered them to be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went back to their towns and died Christians or Jews or whatever. There was even a dude who said that the Prophet doesn't know except what I write, and he wasn't chased after or told to be killed in the conquest and stuff. So.
But I think what is with this guy is, so if this guy had run off, they probably wouldn't have chased him. But it seems like it's because he came back looking for mercy rather than running off like the other guys did.
Yeah, but it seems from that hadith that the Prophet has named this guy, singled him out amongst all other people to kill him. Are we saying that the Prophet, peace be upon him, only did that solely because of the fact that he used to write Revelation and then he apostated?
Yeah, but notice what happened. He went to stay with Uthman bin Affan, like he said in the other hadith. So if he'd have done something more heinous, you'd be surprised that he would go to stay with this guy and then the guy would bring him to Muhammad.
Uthman's his relative. Uthman is his relative.
Yeah.
So he's going to his relative to beseech on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the man's his own relative, his own brother's or cousin's not going to kill him.
No, but what I mean is if the crime was worse than what he did, i.e. just apostatizing, wouldn't he'd know, wouldn't his relative know that he'd be sending him to certain death if it was worse than what he did?
No, because so Uthman was the third Khalifa after the Prophet. So
this isn't Al-Khattab though.
No, Al-Khattab is the second. Right. So you have Abu Bakr, Omar, Uthman.
Oh yeah, it's Uthman. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So Uthman is not someone that's like a stranger to the Prophet. He's someone that aided him with wealth and stuff.
Yeah.
So Uthman, having strong family ties, it's not the first time Uthman's tried to help people out that have opposed the Prophet.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, Shaka. What's happening? Good, yeah. So for me, it doesn't make sense that it was just the fact that he wrote poetry and ran and not wrote poetry. He wrote Revelation and then ran away, and for that reason the Prophet had an agreement with the Quraysh of Mecca that if any of our people leave you, like renege from Islam and come to you, we don't have no reproach on them.
Okay, but remember this guy came back though. That's the thing. So
how do you mean he came back?
Well, no, because he wanted to be granted immunity, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, the Prophet granted everybody immunity, apart from these 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now this guy who's one of those 6 comes back. I must have done something
Yeah.
for the Prophet to just single him out of all the other people that the Prophet has forgiven.
Well,
And I'm saying, for me, it doesn't make sense that the Prophet would do that, based on that action when the Prophet already had an agreement with the people of Mecca that if anybody reneges from our religion and comes back to you, we have no reproach over them. We're not going to take any revenge. Have you heard of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah?
yeah, that's that was between Muhammad and Mecca, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's my point. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah was to say that if one of us comes to you, i.e. the Meccans, then we have to return them back.
Right.
And if one of us comes to you, then you can keep him, and we don't have any say. So for me, it would seem weird that the Prophet would agree to that, and then it would kind of seem like a bit of a renege on the Prophet's part that he agreed to that earlier and then killed someone on that basis after.
Right. All right.
But I'm saying the biggest problem is the fact that Ibn Ishaq is riddled with weakness, and I would want to verify the report first of all about some people when the Prophet ﷺ came back from Medina into Mecca, he pardoned people in general, but there were a few people who didn't.
No, there were, I think, 4 or 5.
It's six. Apparently 6. Four men and 2 women, apparently. But he said, do you believe that the Prophet killed them was right? And I said, yeah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wouldn't kill someone except that they deserve to be killed. So he's going through the reports and trying to ascertain, is this the reason why? And according to this report...
He didn't kill them because they didn't convert to Islam. I think he didn't.
Well, apparently, according to this report in Ibn Ishaq, they're saying that this man was a Muslim, he wrote the revelation, then he apostated. But that doesn't... for me, it seems like a bit of a stretch, to be honest.
Right. All right. Well,
even though I think, remember, in the Sirah he says, anybody who even enters Abu Sufyan's house, they're safe. Even they enter Abu Sufyan's house, they take refuge, they're safe. Even he says that. Abu Sufyan was one of the enemies, which he converted to Islam, become later on. But even though when he was coming to Makkah, they announced that even anybody go to Abu Sufyan house, nobody will get harmed.
Right. All right. Well,
and when he entered Makkah, his chin was touching his chest. Not as a proud man, he was just as a humble man. He entered.
Yeah. So I was going to continue. So it continues on. It says another was Abdullah B. Qatal. That's the one we mentioned in
the last one.
Yeah. Of B. Taim Gab, who had become a Muslim, and the Apostle sent him to collect the poor tax in company with one of the Ansar. He had with him a freed slave who served him. He was a Muslim. When they halted, he ordered the latter to kill a goat for him and prepare some food and went to sleep. When he woke up, the man had done nothing, so he attacked him and killed him and apostatized. So I can understand that one. So it's because he killed the guy. Yeah. So the next one is, he had two singing girls, Fatana and her friend, who used to sing satirical songs about the Apostle. So he ordered that they should be killed with him. Another was Al-Huwairith, one of those who used to insult him in Mecca. Another was Mikwas bi Ubada, because he had killed an Ansar who had killed his brother accidentally.
He's cold as well.
I don't mind.
I'm interested to see BVM and Ravens debate.
Oh wait, there's a debate coming up.
I hear them. No one's going to be interested.
So and so just going down a bit. So it says, as for Ibn Qatal's 2 singing girls, one was killed and the other ran away until the Apostle asked for immunity he gave to her. Similarly, Sarah, who lived until the time of Umar, a mounted soldier, trod her down in the valley of Mecca and killed her. Al-Huwairith was killed by Ali. So those 2 singing girls, the one that got killed, would you say that the fact that she used to sing
if she
satirical.
got killed.
Right.
We need to go through Sirah.
I can't.
What was the condition? What was the
I'm saying
situation?
I need to even understand if that's
That's
authentic.
what I'm saying.
So
we cannot just read it, sir.
Right.
This is the late Sirah, late when they entered Makkah.
yeah.
So it's the late years, and we need to. These events has to go through the Sirah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Also, you mentioned that they were killed by different people.
Yeah.
Was that on the basis of the Prophet's command, or was that in the own individual thing? Because I heard one that said someone was killed by Ali.
Oh no, it says because remember at the beginning it said the apostle had instructed his commanders when they entered Mecca only to fight those who resisted them, except a small number who were to be killed, even if they were found beneath the curtains of the Kaaba. And then the rest of it is giving you a summary of who was ordered to be killed.
Yeah.
So according to Ishaq, those two singing girls.
There is a reason. There must be a reason.
No, but it says that he sang satirical songs.
No, but there must be another condition, some other sort. Because when I went through the Sirah, like I didn't go, but I went once, and I know the one who was reading the Sirah. I remember that when he asked me how many people he killed, I said 4 or 5. There were 6. I remember from that he gave certain
Are you saying it doesn't even
conditions.
kill them? Even some of them came and then they said like we'll give you bay'ah and stuff, and he let them
Yeah.
off.
So it's those people who got killed. I think must be reasons, and there must be things that we are not looking into it.
But also, you remember the hadith you said about Abu Sufyan? That anyone, the Prophet ﷺ said, anyone who takes refuge in Abu Sufyan's
Yes.
house is free.
Yeah.
That would seem to contradict this, because and also the fact that I don't know, it's weird that the Prophet is saying kill these people. Yeah.
Where are you taking this from? Ibn Ishaq.
And Ibn Ishaq is the go-to place for all of these funny things.
Because it's the Sirah.
Yeah.
And our Sirah is not as authentic as.
Most of the seerah is daif. Most of it. Yeah.
All right.
Because
So
the biography.
It's just like what it is because the historians most times they just gather all the narrations that come to them.
Yes.
And then it's like we're collecting all of these. It's for you to verify whether they're
And
correct or
plus,
not.
Ibn Ishaq.
Yeah. There's another one as well. I forget his name. Ibn Hisham.
Ibn Hisham.
That's the one. Yeah.
Ibn Hisham was the teacher of Ibn Ishaq, isn't it? One of them is a student of one another.
Okay.
One who wrote the first 15 volumes. And this guy came and summarized it in 3 volumes. Because what he did, cut. This is not important. This is because there were things that, let's say that when Ibn Ishaq starts, it starts from the one book is for lineage of the Arabs, one book is for this. So they go through everything. He's very comprehensive. But when he came, he revised it, summarized it, so the people could quickly, because 15-volume book, how can you carry it, how can you study it? So what he did. So there are so many things that we need to go back to there and read the situation and this and that happened, and so there must be more into it.
The thing is, I'll be real with you, bro. I can try and tell you about hadith. The majority of us are not equipped to answer these questions in terms of authenticity and stuff. We're not hadith scholars. The majority of lay Muslims.
And for us, this hadith.
In fact, the majority of scholars are not hadith scholars.
This hadith, if you quote it for us, it doesn't make a jot of difference our belief in God. I can reject this hadith now. It doesn't change my belief in Allah. It's not the fundamental thing about Islam that you should, what about this hadith? What about that? This and that. There are hadith which circulates. In my country, in Afghanistan, there are things written that they take in hadith. It's laughable.
yeah, but the do you follow fatwas which scholars have agreed on from the hadith?
Like,
If they produce a fatwa, which a group of your main whoever produces
From the hadith that which is.
Imam Malik says, and I can't stress this statement so much. I always anybody's statement can be accepted or rejected, except the statement of the Prophet. That's anyone. Abu Bakr's statement can be rejected. Umar's statement can be rejected. Uthman's statement can be rejected. Ali ibn Abi Talib's statement. Anybody after the Prophet's statement can be rejected. So they could be wrong or they could be right. And I'm not obligated to take any statement of theirs if I feel that it's wrong and counter Islam.
Alright, so I was going to give you this next one then. This is Sunan Abu Dawood, book 38, number 4348. It says, narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas, a blind man had a slave mother who used to abuse the Prophet and disparage him. He forbade her, but she did not stop. He rebuked her, but she did not give up her habit. One night, she began to slander the Prophet and abuse him. So he took her dagger, placed it on her belly, pressed it and killed her. A child who came between her legs was smeared with the blood that was there. When the morning came, the Prophet was informed about it. He assembled the people and said, I adjure by Allah, the man who has done this action, and I adjure him by my right to him that he should stand up. Jumping over the necks of the people and trembling, the man stood up. He sat before the Prophet and said, Apostle of Allah, I am your master. She used to abuse you and disparage you. I forbade her, but she did not stop, and I rebuked her, but she did not abandon her habit. I have 2 sons like pearls from her, and she was my companion. Last night she began to abuse and disparage you, so I took a dagger, put it on her belly and pressed it till I killed her. Thereupon the Prophet said, O be witness, no retaliation is payable for her blood. So, what do you think about her?
If it's authentic, I accept that. I don't have any issues with it. If it's authentic report, I accept that. I don't have any issues with it.
Well, I can, if you want, I can give you the reference.
No, I'm saying this is Sunan Abu Dawood, you said. So
Ibn Abbas.
No, but he narrated it. Abdullah ibn
what I'm
Abbas.
saying is, I don't have an issue with that hadith.
Yeah,
I don't. The woman insulted, the man killed him. The Prophet asked who killed him. He said she was cursing you too much, I couldn't take it, I killed her. It's not the Prophet's action.
So you'd say that. So essentially, what you're saying is you agree that people who slander the Prophet,
essentially what I'm saying is that's not the action of the Prophet, it's the action of the man.
Yeah.
And if the Prophet allowed it, then the Prophet allowed it, and I don't have an issue with it.
No, but it doesn't teach me that I can go and kill somebody who slanders the Prophet.
No, I know that, but it's the fact that
It's saying it's a precedent, so the fact that he, this is like,
Is this?
Is it saying a precedent?
That's why I said if it's all,
Abu Dawood,
I said if
most
it's
of the hadith is
authentic.
same. It's the third book.
This one's Sahih, because I checked. I mean, you can look it up. No, because what it is, I only went for the Sahih ones because I knew if I went for even though Hassan is quite good, I know some people would be against them, so I only chose the Sahih one.
But for me, what would be the reason that you will have a problem with this? Because this is wrong, so the Prophet could be, you think it's wrong, yeah?
Well, no, it's that he killed her, so normally his blood should have been forfeit because of killing her.
No, according to what legislation would his life be forfeit? According to what legislation would his life be forfeit?
Well, anywhere else. I mean, any country. I don't know of any country in the world where he wouldn't have got the death
Well,
murder.
Yeah, you're thinking about, okay, so we're talking about 7th century where you don't have courts, you don't have police.
And if you can walk on the street, they will take you as a slave.
So there's no
Me as well.
There's no legislation.
If you walk on the street, if you don't have a tribe, if you don't have people to fight for you, I would have been a slave by now, sold in the market. You're talking about that sort of time in society.
But you realize what if with this particular hadith, but you realize that that didn't justify some of what ISIS is doing, doesn't it?
This shorts thing, it makes me look. I could not understand Bani Qurayza unless I didn't go and read the Sirah. Wallah. Oh, okay, this is. People used to come and ask me, is it Bani Qurayza?
Yeah, Bani Qurayza. Yeah.
The Prophet killed and I was like, Prophet couldn't do that. Prophet, I mean, come, it's a hadith, and I said, okay. But once I sat down and went through the context, I understood as a logical person, okay, this is what happened. And now when people talk to me about Banu Qurayza, I ask them,
even in fact, yeah.
what happened to Banu Nadir? What happened to Banu Qaynuqa? Now I've studied and I know about, I have a very, I can explain what happened and how it happened. But this, we might to go through what happened and before that and after that and how the situation.
Yeah, but no, it's hadith, it has all of the context.
It has.
Yeah, she abused the Prophet, he killed her, and then the next day,
there must be much more into it.
No, but he said she kept on constantly abusing the Prophet. So that's the context. He was explaining it.
Would it come in the seerah?
What's that?
But there are things,
Look, for me, it's very simple. I don't want to overdo it. If we find the authenticity, I've heard this story before, right? From what I know, it's an authentic story.
Oh, I don't know.
Which one?
This one that you told me. For what I know, it's an authentic story.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
She insulted the Prophet. Yeah. She kept on insulting the Prophet. He lost his rag with her and he killed her. The Prophet excused him for that. Khalas. That's not here. It's not England. That's a Shari'i state. Yeah. And many are the Muslim countries that say that if you mock the Prophet in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or it's punishable by death. And I don't have an issue with that. Yeah, if it's sanctioned, if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that mocking him,
I agree.
Yeah, it's a precedent for that. I'm not saying anyone in the streets of London should do that.
Yeah.
It's not a Shari'i state. That would lead to more, and there's also an Islamic principle of anything that leads to more corruption in the land, yeah, should be withheld from doing it. Mafsada maslaha they call it. But in a Shari'i state where the government can deal with it, not a random
person.
Yeah. Then I don't have an issue with it. I don't. I won't stand here and pretend to acquiesce to some other moral compass just because it might make me look a little bit funny.
Yeah.
You saw the Prophet, peace be upon him.
What people will think about me.
And think about the Prophet as well. Yeah, he's in a position of leadership. How many kings and rulers and stuff, yeah, have got rid of people on much less? I've got no time for that.
Right. So the Muslims who, because I have to admit I was slightly surprised by your response, because I know that the more dawah Muslims, they would never have responded like how you responded. They would like vehemently just. I don't want to do the rings and running around and trying to make people feel better about my positions. Yeah.
If the messenger of Allah allowed that, then he allowed that. I'm saying I know it to be authentic. It might not. I might look into it and say, oh, okay, I was wrong. My position was wrong. That was wrong. But as far as I know from my own limited knowledge, that is something that happened. He did it. The Prophet said no blood retaliation or whatever, and that was that. I'm not going to start saying okay, because if I say to myself now, that's so barbaric, how can he do that? That's not warranted. I guess what the desire is for me to go back and say, oh, well, if the Prophet didn't do something, if the Prophet did something immoral, well, then maybe he's not the messenger of God. Then maybe I have to go back and check all the other stuff. Is that moral? No, I am convinced in my heart of hearts, 150,000%, that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. So no matter what the Prophet Muhammad, as long as it's authentically attributed to him, without a dispute. Without a dispute, I say that. And I say that because if there is a dispute, if I go back and I find, because I will check back into that hadith, if I go back and I find that there's any scholar who said that in this chain of narration, there's someone who's untrustworthy or unknown or whatever, that position of mine goes out the window.
But Bani, I don't know if you got internet on your phone, because I can show you where to find it.
No, you show me someone authenticating it. I'm saying I just go and find someone who has not authenticated it.
Right.
Because it's not as simple as it's sahih.
Yeah.
Some people say things are sahih, others don't agree on it.
Right.
So what's sahih according to Imam al-Hakim? Lots of people have said it's da'if. Right. Let's say there's a book called Hakim is one of the six, I believe. Is Hakim one of the six?
No, because I think it's
Bukhari, Muslim, Nasa'i, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawood,
and Nasai.
Yeah,
And Nasai.
Bukhari, Muslim, Nasa'i, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawood,
and Ibn Majah.
Yeah.
and Ibn Majah. Okay, cool. Okay, so Hakim, Ibn Majah.
Yeah, Ibn Majah, yeah.
So Hakim comes after that. So Hakim did it in Mustadrak. Yeah, Hakim's book. His intention of making the book was to include the hadith
Which are
that were
ridiculous.
on the conditions of Bukhari or Muslim that they left out. Turned out horrible. And
Because
some
one of
scholars
them,
even
a
said,
historian, he only writing what people are saying. And one of the
I think
scholars,
Nasa'i's one of- I think
one of the
Nasa'i's his
scholars,
teacher.
he wanted to show people the ridiculousness of what people are making.
Right.
But later on, people took it as a book.
Right. Yeah.
The writer intent was to show the people the ridiculousness of these hadiths.
Yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
For later generation, but they thought later generation thought, oh, this is hadith as well. And that's the thing.
But doesn't it have an introduction now? Because I know in
It
Muslim.
has, because so many of them. But when time passes, when people print, if there's something like about it, or you will find crook people who have crookedness in their heart, they will change it.
Oh, you mean like the introduction?
Hadith can be changed, yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Hadith can be changed easily.
But someone might still have the original.
No, but the normal people wouldn't go and say, oh, let me go and find if this is Sahih, if this is not Sahih, or if it's weak, or if it's Zaif, or Hasan. Normal people doesn't do it. The guy who is crooked, even though if he sits and reads about the wrong hadith in a wrong way, he has his own intention, people wouldn't question him.
But
You get my point?
Yeah. But what you're saying, I remember when I read the introduction to Al-Bukhari.
Bukhari, okay.
He actually explains the reason why he collected the hadith is because people were using false hadiths to convince people. Yeah.
There is a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ didn't have shadow.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard.
Do you know when it appears?
No.
In the books of hadith, 900 after his death.
Right.
If you look at the books of hadith or books of seerah, books of hadith earlier versions, they are small, or they are it doesn't have details.
Oh yeah, it's just brief.
If you come to Islamic books 900 years after, you will find books that with detail.
Right.
And where did you get it from?
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So people do make stories. People do try to change for their own benefit and stuff like that. I mean, the celebration of Mawlid, the 12th of
the Prophet's birthday.
the Prophet's birthday. The first time it appeared after 650 years after his death.
Right.
See, these things happen in every culture and every people that.
Bro, just quickly gonna see what
Sure. So these things happen. You know, people say, "Oh, look at the dome, the green dome of the Prophet's mosque. It's green."
Oh, you mean what? In Mecca?
In Medina,
All right.
the Prophet's mosque.
Yeah.
The dome is green.
Just copper.
People like put green stuff and green turban, green. They don't know that they painted green after 600 years after his death. It used to be white, it used to be black, so people have these things, make up stuff from their own things.
Yeah.
So there are so many these sort of things that so many scholars came to justify their own meaning or something. They wrote something and they just but the priority of the Muslim is to just believe in Allah, and the hadith that which goes side by side with Quran and stuff like that.
But don't you have to? Aren't you under any fatwas that they come up with? If you're in a country and the scholars come together and they use the hadith to produce a fatwa, aren't those binding under the people who are in that country?
Yeah, but there and I know religious person can be cheaters. They can make fatwas. I can take you now to Bangladesh and we will give 20,000, they will give you fatwa.
Right.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
Some people have been always popped up. They give fatwa to keep a tyrant in their seats. And these things happen. Humanity have always used religion and God's name in a vein as well. Do you know what I mean? In vain.
So what you're saying is these fatwas aren't always just specifically from the hadith.
No,
not
not always. No. And plus, there are things that we cannot apply it in today's society.
Yeah.
We cannot. We cannot do that.
Yeah.
We cannot. And because in Islam there is a specific rules and regulations for humanity from God.
Yeah.
But there are specific rules and regulations because God knows cultures and time. There are cultures and people change. Cultures change time to time. Some of the laws and regulations God has put in man's hand. And when you develop a bit, you can change, you can knit bits, you can.
But you can't go against the rules which are from. Yeah.
Those are stamped rules. God is one. Believe in angels, believe in the prophets. These are things.
Yeah.
But if the Prophet ﷺ were riding camel, I cannot ride camel in flipping London. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
These things. And so there are changes in time to time. There were times that when girls used to born or grew up, they didn't go to school.
No.
But now time has changed. They go to school.
Yeah, but
they have.
There's some countries in Africa where they still go straight to work anyway.
I know that. But in those times, but things we can adjust with our development of the modern technology and this and that.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. There are hadiths that it might look ridiculous for this time, but there are hadiths that might fit it 1400 years ago.
Right.
There was a hadith that. One thing which is sometimes it's very, for me it was hard. There was a hadith that a man, the Prophet ﷺ says, when the adhan, the call of the prayer, the call of the prayer.
All right, yeah.
When that happens, devil runs and he farts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do he fart? He runs and he farts.
Right.
Or he farts and runs. I'm like, okay, he runs, but why he farts? And these look to me. But when I went and researched, Dr. Jonathan Brown is a scholar of hadith.
Right.
He's Canadian. He used to be a Christian. He's a young man. He's a scholar of hadith at Oxford University.
Right.
He became a Muslim. He explained this hadith to me. He said, when the Prophet said, when the Satan hears the adhan, he runs and farts. He gives a parable, like if you are a horseman and if you know what horses are and if you live with them, you would know this hadith very quickly. He says, if you sit on a horse and try to gallop straight away, out of 199 times the horse farts. So it meant Shaitan runs fast, like the horse. So he couldn't, like, how fast? Like a horse. He farts. Those people around him understood that Shaitan runs fast, not farting. When he explained the hadith to me, I said, okay, that's what it means. Did you get my point? It became clear to me. It became clear to me. Another sheikh, he says, one day a man was sleeping on his stomach. And the Prophet said, do not lie down on your stomach. Allah doesn't like it. The guy says, the imam says, or the scholar, he says, I always used to say to these people, once I open a newspaper on a flight and I read this article, that anybody who sleeps on his stomach during the night, because of gravity pull, their backbone, what do you call it? The spinal cord, the pull of the earth, it can bend it, and it's not good for your back. It's scientifically proved. You can check it on Google.
No, I actually know what it is. Basically, if you're on a mattress which isn't firm enough, I've actually had it happen to me. Yeah, your stomach does bend down, and it bends your back.
Yeah, it bends.
So I've actually had that.
That time, that logic, if he would have said, do you know what, if you sleep, your spinal cord and that, he couldn't understand. But when he said God doesn't like it, he understood, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, I understand.
So for that time, it was perfect. But now we know scientifically it's not good for us. This hadith means this. That's the point. When hadiths come, we need to try to understand 7th century time as well, how people were, how they understood. They were not maybe that much. Their knowledge was not like us now, that we understand that the gravity pulls and our spinal cord can get bent. It's not good for our health. But the man, when the Prophet said God doesn't like it, he understood. That's the point. That's my argument. It was a pleasure to talk to you. I'm going to leave now.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's raining too much now. Good to talk to you, my man. You take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Israelites will return to take down Islam.